Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel. We are live today, the 23rd of June 2023. We're counting down to the World Cup, Women's World Cup, that will be taking place in Australia and New Zealand. And tonight I'm joined by Lawrence and also by LAMECK. Gents, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports. It's a Friday once again.
Good evening, Ruben, and good evening to our viewers.
Thanks. Good evening, Lamek. Welcome to Ubuntu
Yeah,
Sports.
thank you so much, Ruben. Good evening to you, Lawrence, and the viewers and those that are also listening to our program, following on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We say good evening to you. It's another beautiful Friday. We get to talk Zambian football as well.
Lamek, let's start on the side note. I know we are building. You are counting down to the World Cup, but first let's start with the build up to the COSAFA tournament, where we see our team losing back to back. Do you have any hopes with this team, or do you think now Numba should dump this team and pick another team?
I think that is already something that is already being considered. The team that went to North Africa for the friendlies will be, a number of players won't be retained for the COSAFA. Numba is expected to name a new team in the coming days that will compete in the COSAFA. And we'll see 1, 2, 3 new names in the team that is headed for COSAFA. So I think it should be more about the younger players, unlike what we saw when the boys went and played in North Africa. I think it should be more about under 20 and under 23 players. Let them go and compete COSAFA for the sake of experience, because COSAFA, the title is important, but let's use this tournament to nurture the next big stars. Let's use that tournament, I think, to help us transition when certain players are not performing in the national team. We know we have players that have played at national level before and can be able to handle pressure. We have the AFCON coming up, so we may need to, look at 1, 2 players that can join the team going to AFCON, because the current Chipolopolo, the main team isn't perfect. I think it has a lot of gaps. So who knows where the next big star can come from? At the back, we need, new players at the back. In midfield, I think we need 1, 2 new players as well. Up front, Patson needs a lot of help. Fashion doing what he's doing, he still needs someone behind him that can compete with him. Same with Luambo, Lamek Banda, and everyone. I think this is the time that we need to start developing these boys that will be ready to take over from these guys in the next 2, 3 years, or 5, 10 years. Who knows how long they may play? But if we can get a better player than Patson, that can even be good. And this may be the platform we can use to pinpoint or pick that young boy.
All right. Thank you very much. Interesting stuff there. The coach is planning to dump the team, pick up some new players in the team. And also get a chance in the first place.
Actually, I've listened to what Lamek has said, and I think I've got a lot of reservations to what he has put across. First and foremost, I think we pick players based on what? Age or what? We look at the best available players for every position, and those are the ones that we pick. That is the criteria that I thought was being used at every stage of the Chipolopolo of the national team. So if Numba picked the best available players for the camp, then I don't know the ones that is going to replace what they are. Because if those were the best that we have right now, then where are they? Are we saying that there were others who are better, who are kept somewhere, and they didn't pick them in the first place? I don't know. Secondly, we can talk about we pick under 23 and under. for crying out loud, even if we pick the youngsters, they need somewhere they are going to be learning from. They need players they can look up to and say, "I want to be like that." We can talk of a lot of players who have come through the ranks. They will play. They will be picked because they know there's someone they are learning from. There are people. Stars who have been there before, who should be able to guide them. Mwana here, when ikafika past stage, just so we should be able to do things like this. Because if we're just going to pick, because no, we pick under 20 and under 23, so that they can go and learn from who? They will go and compete there, yes, but it's as good as they should compete at their own stage there. There's Kosafa for under 20, if I'm not mistaken. Let them go and play under 20 Kosafa. They will compete there. What is important right now is we should be able to set up a team based on the best available players. When you say best available players, we can also bring up a mixture of young ones as well. Say, okay, if we have a goalkeeper, best available goalkeeper, instead of picking a second best available, we can pick a youngster to go and compete with this one. That is the line I think we should be going. But if we are going to say no, Numba is going to disband the team that he picked and then is going to pick some other players, then why didn't he pick those the same ones in the first place? If those were better than the players that he picked in the first place, it's really confusion. It's really confusing me now. That's what I can say, Ruben.
But one thing, I think, Lawrence, one thing you need to put into consideration is that as much as we have the under 20, under 20 COSAFAs and whatnot, look at news making headlines nowadays. Clubs are more into younger players. So as a national team, we need to start investing in these young boys. And then if you look at the Haalands, the Jude Bellingham of the Englands, the European countries, those are 19-year-old boys, 20-year-old boys delivering at the national stage. What can stop, us, the Songa Chipiokas of Zesco, getting a place and, who knows, he may be the one to compete against Fashion at, or maybe he may actually get a head start.
LAMECK, I would say, give me one team that has scrapped off their national team and going to play with under 20s and under 23s at the tournament. You can talk of the Jude Bellinghams and the like. Yes, they used to. Jude used to play for, actually at under 17 level, used to play for England and at under 17, and that is where he was picked because he was good. And they did not remove all the senior players from the national team. Say no, we are going to be. He had to compete for a place. They did not just say we are going to discard all the midfielders, the old midfielders, because we have got Jude here. He had to compete, and he proved that he could play there. So that is the way we should go, and not just scrapping off the whole team and say let the young ones play. Have they competed with the best? No. We are just going to hand them the national team on a silver platter. That's what you are suggesting.
I'm not suggesting that, but what I'm trying to say is that
maybe the big question is, do you think Numba missed in terms of team selection in the first place? Because now he has to dump this team, pick another one.
I don't think Numba missed. I don't think Numba missed on this selection. What I said is that a number of players from that team may actually be dropped for new entrants. Players that are coming in, it's not guaranteed that he's going to drop older players and then bring in younger ones, or he's going to drop younger ones and bring in older players. It's not guaranteed. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is that there are players that did not perform according to expectation, and that's what football is about. Just because you made the wrong call today doesn't mean you have to stick by it. If results don't go your way, you're allowed to change. There are players, look, there's Frederick Mwimanzi who scored 6 goals, a defender from Napsa Stars. He wasn't picked. This is his time. He's a national team prospect. Given a chance, he can easily break into that Zambia national team and partner with players such as Frankie and the like. He has a talent. He's a top talent. We have Felix Bulaya, one of the best left-right wingers in the league. These are players that also deserve that call. But in as much as they were not called, that doesn't mean the door is closed for them to be called. You understand? These guys that I'm telling you are not under 20s, are not under 23. They're above that age. But in terms of national team exposure, they don't have exposure. What I'm trying to say is, as much as we get to the COSAFA, we want to have these young boys, the under 23s, should be top priority in whatever we are doing. In as much as, we want to consider everyone, but we need to have a football roadmap. The players that are 28, 30, in the next 10 years, they won't be here to give us results. We can't discard them. We'll keep them around, but priority should be on the younger generation that's coming, because that is where the future lies. If we have to become a competitive force, qualify for the World Cup, some players that we are using, look, like Stofira Sunzu, by the time we reach 2026, we may not know at what stage he would be at. So we can't put all our hearts on him, because we know he has a recurrent injury because of age and all those factors. So this COSAFA, for me, this COSAFA is more of, where you go, give certain players that you think have the potential to become the next big national team stars. Not everyone can play for the national team, but those that you think can make it in the national team and become the next big stars, give them how it feels to don the Chipolopolo shirt, how much pressure comes with it through the COSAFA. The national team doesn't get that many games here in Africa. It's different compared to the Europe and the like. Here, these regional tournaments really help in developing a transition in the players that you have for the national team. For me, that's what I think. If you think we should go to the COSAFA with an average team, go compete for the COSAFA, well, that's a genuine thought. You want us to win the title. But for me, football development should be way ahead of winning titles. Let's focus more on developing our game, developing our
I
national
think
team, and the other things.
I think I'll say this, Lamek. I'm actually in support of you that we should actually give chance to the younger ones. But I am not for the idea of just handing them national team call-ups just like that, just because they fall in the age bracket that we want to develop. What I'm saying is that let them compete for their positions. If they show promise that they are able to deliver, well and good, give them the chance, support them. Unlike a situation where we are just going to say no, we want to develop the young ones, so we should take under 20 and under 23. On what grounds? On what basis? What criteria? Just because they fall in the age of under 23 or under 20, for me that is a big no. Let them show us what they're able to do at the little chances that they have. In fact, if possible, let coach Avram Grant take keen interest whenever these young boys are playing. Let him go and identify those ones that he feels are ready for us to use. We cannot have a situation where we are just going to be giving national team call-ups to people just because they fall in the age group of under 23, and we are saying no because they're the ones who are going to be there in the future. Let them show us what they have now so that we can give them chance and we'll support them. That's my point.
All right, gents, we need to move on. We've got a lot to discuss today. Before we talk about Zambia's qualification and the women's national team, let's look at the charity match that will be taking place at Hero Stadium. Larry, were your team. This is Cletus Chama team. Lamek, which team are you supporting? And just give us a background to this match.
Well, this is a match organized by a football agency group called Next Gen. I think it's owned by a colleague of mine who is Nawanyambe, originally from the Copper Belt, and he's managing a lot of these players. Lali Warrior, Cletus Chama, Moses Piri, Spencer Sautu, Bruce Msakanya. All these boys are being managed by. Can you get me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can continue. Lamek,
Yeah,
you are
so I was
muted.
saying that all these guys I was mentioning are being managed by this agency, and then at the end of the season where every player returns home, we've seen a lot of times that players do individually give out certain gifts to orphanages, to people that feel like they're needy. But coming from that background, I think that's where the thought came from, to just put together a match, and then all proceeds that come from that match can go towards towards charity. I think coming from an organized point of view, where players, even the players that are playing, it won't only be income generated from sales, jersey sales. That, the headlining players maybe get to auction their jerseys, the returns from there, what they get from ticket sales, and the individual players may also, put in some cash, and then put in a package that you may, bless one or two orphanages out there, or one or two needy areas that you may need to help. It's a really good event, and the background is quite good. For me, we hope that everything goes well, and we may get to see beautiful football, and then see what goes on after the football is all played and done.
But you've not told us the team you're supporting. Are you Team Larry or Team Chama?
Right now,
I've seen the
difficult
team
to pick.
selections. It's difficult to pick, but both sides have got good teams
But
and
I
good
go
coach.
with Team Larry. I go with Team Larry.
All right. Let's hear it from Lawrence. Lawrence, the charity match. It's Team Larry versus Team Chama.
Well, I think these events, I think we should promote such kinds of things. I really wish we could get Nawanyambe, who is the organizer, on the program. I think he is committed somewhere, but what I can say is, uh, last time we saw the Ronaldinhos coming into the country to play the 2012 which Polo Polo and the like, I think should give us a headline and an idea that actually some of these things are able to raise funds for actually a lot of causes. So like they are doing now, I think Lamek has put a very beautiful explanation to what is going on in the background. A charity match that has been organized, and it's going to be played right here in Lusaka, organized by our very own, and all proceeds go to charity, which is something that we should actually commend, all of us support, and look forward to more more of more organizations that are able to organize such matches do this, so that we can actually try to raise awareness, or raise money for charity and things like that. It can work. It's doable, and Next Gen has proved that it is actually very doable by our very own, and they have done it splendidly. I've seen the organization going on. I've seen photos of them selling tickets here and there, and I've seen what has been placed um, uh, in terms of proceeds, where they are going to go and things like that. It's something that we should be commending, and we should support. So I encourage everyone, all the soccer lovers who are able to attend this match, to do so. Buy a ticket. I think selling points are ever. I'm sure even at the gate sales will be available even tomorrow. We should see everyone support this cause. Very important.
Very important. Team Larry, Team Chama. I'm sure maybe
Actually, actually, it's
you,
Tim
you
Larry.
want to rhyme
Tim
with your
Larry.
name. Team Larry. I knew. So wish Mr. Now was here so that he can just have a bit more information about the game and exactly what he's planning to do. But it's going to be a good match. I've seen both teams so strong, and I've seen the punches that are going around on Facebook. Larry is throwing some punches. Chama is also throwing some punches there on Facebook. We hope to see a good match. The pre-match was done today in the afternoons. There was a pre-match at Hero Stadium. Uh, if you can on Sunday, let's meet at Hero Stadium and watch this charity match. It's Team Larry with this Team Chama. Gents, let's move on to our viewers. If you're joining us, this is Ubuntu Sports, and we've shared the link in case in one of the things that we are discussing here, you want also to put in your contribution. Just join in, click on the link. You'll be able to join us live here on studio and we could hear you. Or the other way, you can just type in your comment and would still read your comment in the comment section or in the live chat. Lawrence, let's move on. The countdown is on. Every day that passes by brings us closer to the Women's World Cup. But we saw our ladies in action yesterday, and another disappointing result from them.
I think the build-up was good. I can't really say it was a disappointing result. I can't say it, put it in those lines. I think the ladies did well. You know, Ireland is not a small team. Actually, these are top-ranked teams when it comes to women's football, and playing the way we did was actually something that I didn't expect. I was discussing this match, I think, 2 hours before it started with a colleague of mine, and we spoke about the prospects for Zambia, and we said Zambia, the ladies might be battered actually, but after seeing that, we scored first. Actually, it was an own goal, and I was like, oh, so I think anything is possible. Well, unfortunately, we conceded 3 goals after that, but still showed some fight and made it 3-2 somehow. And I think we should encourage the ladies and see to it that we can maybe polish up 1 or 2 things. Looking at the technicalities of the match itself, I think uh, we were outnumbered when it comes to height. The island ladies were actually taller than our ladies, and I think that is where first and foremost we seemed to have lost some ground in terms of the match itself. But somehow we looked like we were a quicker side than them. If my judgment was good, we were a quicker side than them, and seemed to have forced a lot of pace into the game, and that's kind of a little bit forced Ireland out of their comfort zones, especially when you look at the run up to the first goal, which was an own goal they scored in their own goal. So I wouldn't say it was really a bad outing for the ladies. I think it was a good start. It's a good start, and hopefully we can see a few more friendlies before we can go into the World Cup itself. I think Ruben, you are muted.
Yeah, Lawrence, you are saying that you are not disappointed with the results because Ireland is a strong team, but these are the teams that we need to beat for us to show that we're not a walkover team. We're serious, and we're going for the World Cup, Lawrence. We're going to meet maybe teams which are more stronger than Ireland.
True, we are going to meet teams that are stronger than Ireland, but this is not the final jigsaw or the final team that is going to play all those teams. What we are doing here, these are friendlies, and we are trying this and trying that. Yes, we lost on the day, but I think there are a lot of positives that we can get from the match we played yesterday. First and foremost, even as advantageous as the height looked for Ireland, we found a way to play them, and losing 3-2 was not so bad. I think, in my opinion, was not that bad. We can actually look at it in a way that we are able to recover. Looking at if we can work on 1 or 2 things, we should be able to recover from that, and maybe if we play Ireland again, maybe given a second opportunity, we should be able to have gotten some tactics right. So I don't think it's a very bad result. I would worry if we are going to be battered 4-0 or 3-0 or something like that. But look at it, 3-2, not bad.
3-2, not bad. Lamek, we're looking at the game which took place yesterday, Ireland versus Zambia. We started strongly in the first half. We're leading by a goal, but it ended in tears for us. Are you confident with the team so far? What's happening? Were you happy with the way they played yesterday?
I think I was happy with how the first half was played. I think we tried we played, we put pressure on our opponents. We closed down spaces quickly. We made it difficult for them to play, and we created some, not decent, but we created some chances that had we been clinical enough, or had we, had a little bit of combination or coordination up front, I think would have resulted in a goal or two. Second half, totally bad. Those 4 substitutions that the Irish made completely confused our team. It's good that we did not break our shape. I think we maintained shape in as much as we were, struggling. But the second half was a period that the team suffered. They had to soak a lot of pressure. We failed to string 5-10 passes together throughout the second half, which is really bad when you want to go to a tournament and play against top opposition. And then look at the numbers. We've only won 1 match out of the last 5 friendlies last 6 friendlies we played. We lost to Colombia twice. We lost to Korea twice as well. Yesterday we lost. These are winnable games. The Korea one was winnable. The Colombia was winnable. Yesterday's friendly was very much winnable. I think the coach needs a lot of homework to work on, especially on that front line. I think the midfield, we needed more of an Irene Lungu type of player. Susan Banda, very good. I think we found a solid number 6 that can cover the defense well, that can play. But we needed someone else apart from Susan who could also be able to play. Grace Chanda is forward-minded, and then it becomes difficult if you pair Grace with Susan, because Susan is more of a number 8, and then she needed another player in midfield to now bring in that sense of arriving in the opposition's final third, and like launching the balls to Barbara Banda and then Rachel Kundananji. And then if you notice, these girls dropped deep to get the ball and then try and force their way to the Ireland goal, which is something that if you're playing against top opposition, like top 10, top 15 teams, they won't give you that much chance. You play against Spain, they know what to do when Barbara has the ball. They'll have 2-3 players already behind her. Kundananji, she's done so much. So these are players, our opponents are working on how to stop these girls. So the coach needs to find a solution. But again, you won't create decent chances, you won't score goals if you don't have possession. So the 4-3-3, I love the 4-3-3. I think bringing Grace in the midfield was okay, because most times she's been played as a second striker, which really hasn't worked for us. We've struggled to play. But for me, I still think Coach Bruce has a lot of work to do, especially with the front line, because we failed to create a decent chance where we arrived in the opposition's final third, played 1-2 passes, gave someone to shoot, and then they shoot, it goes out for a goal kick, or maybe it's saved by the goalkeeper. We failed to create that. Most of the chances that we created were just from individual play, from the front ladies. And then this is what the team has been accustomed to. They go by Kundananji, a lot of individual play in her style. Barbara Banda's go similar to that. So we need to work on our coordination, our combinations in front. I think we have a strong team. We don't need to go to the World Cup as just mere competitors. We need to go to the World Cup as a team that can reach as far as the semi-final, because we have everything. We have a strong defense. We have, a strong midfield. We have the best, players among the best female forwards in the world. I don't think we need to go there as just mere competitors. Like we just want to compete. We need to go there as a team that can reach as far as the semi-final, because we can cause major upsets to any team if we work on 1, 2, 3 areas that the team needs to work on. I think that issue of we are learning. I think that is one thing that has brought a lot of problems to us. Let's leave that word out of our vocabulary for now. Let's talk about competing. We are no longer learning, but we are competing. Let's go and compete. Yes, the lessons are there, but let's go and, because Ireland, we are not learning. Ireland came to compete. So why should we go and play a team? Because these losses have an impact on our rankings. So if you have a better rank, you stand a better chance of getting high-profile friendlies. We have the Netherlands, though it was cancelled. We had Great Britain, though it was cancelled. We are able to get these friendlies because of the performances that we put in the past. But if we go on a streak, we lose the Switzerland, we lose the Germany one. Going forward, teams will just think, this is just another average team, and we won't get these big friendlies. Look at what has happened to the male folks. We're unable to secure top friendlies because of the same poor results. So Coach Bruce needs to work on those girls to put them into shape, because we did not look like a team that can go to the World Cup and get positive results yesterday. We looked like a team that was, like doing the qualifiers, something like that. So for me, I think Bruce has a lot of work to do.
All right. Did you see any Lisa effect in yesterday's game? She's part of the technical team. Did you see any some of her contribution in the team? Any improvements because of her being part of the team?
Yeah, I think what Lisa brought in was a sense of organization. I think the team looks more organized now with Lisa around, more than it looked when Bruce was alone there. Well, with all due respect to the assistants, but with Bruce in charge at that time, the team didn't look that organized as it looked yesterday. We looked more organized. We maintained our shape. We looked more tactical. I think we wanted to play. We did not do so much of the long balls unless, in certain difficult situations. That's when we went to the long ball. We saw a change in formation, because under Bruce, when Bruce and his assistants were in charge, what we saw was 2 players in midfield and then 4 strikers. But yesterday we had 3 strikers, 3 in the midfield. So it made it, it was a little difficult for Ireland to break us in the first half because of the 3 players that we had in midfield. It was easier for us to mark. We saw Evelyn Katongo, a different side of her. She wasn't on her best. She played lesser touches of the ball because she was always being closed down. Again, we also saw, I think some combination play, a flair of combination play between
Hey, LAMECK, are you still there?
Yes. I was saying we saw a little bit of combination play between Barbara and Kundananj, which was a positive on my side. I think it was a positive. And with Lisa around, I think there's more to come for these girls. And I think one thing I had forgotten was how quick the team was. I think we distributed the ball quickly compared to the other times that, in the previous past.
All right. Thank you very much. At this point, let's welcome Mr. ABIA. Mr. ABIA, welcome to Ubuntu Sports. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much, Ruben, and my fellow panelists and the viewers, of course.
We also want to hear from you. Yesterday's loss for the Copper Queens. We lost by 3 goals to 2 to Ireland.
Yeah, it was really painful after reading and losing with that margin. And I think we lost more concentration in the second half. We played well in the first half, but we had some chances. We didn't just convert it into goals. And coming to the next half, our opponent looked stronger when they equalized after 3 minutes. To make it 1-1, it came worse after scoring two and the third one to become 3-1. It was a huge mountain for us to climb. But one thing that I want to point out, Ruben, was the way Shipolopolo have been handling the game when we are down. The mood. I think Coach Bruce have to work on that. The players look like they have already given up the game. We have lost because of poor long balls. We like long balls when we are behind. When you are not behind, you are playing well as a team, beautiful passes, creating chances, and find even the goal of the opportunity to score. But when we are behind, when we were 2-1 down, we are playing long balls. When the defense has the ball, the only opponent that they see is where Babla Banda is and Let's Talk Mudananji is. And our opponent, we are very tall than us. We can't play such long balls when we are down. We need to put up the ball down, create chances. Let's put up the chances, the passes. Then we create some chances. Was totally confusion because midfield we are nowhere to be seen. So I think for that occasion, I think Ruben, we need to work really hard if we are to compete in the World Cup this season. Otherwise, we are just going there to participate. Yes, I understand Ireland is a good team. They're in a better position, like in the FIFA ranking. It's a better team, but those our opponent were too much in composure. You see those headers that they were giving each other. It was straight from the other player to the other player. The third goal. Just look at the third goal. They created. They shoot at goal, and our goalkeeper saved it, but it went straight to to our opponent, and they had it. That pass header that finishes that number 9 who finishes that ball without a panic, Ruben, without a panic. You just know that the goalkeeper is still down and the defense was still inside. Then he opted to shoot and it was nowhere to be seen. The goal was inside, was behind the net. So I think in defense, midfield, we need to work really hard, Ruben, if we are to compete in the World Cup. Otherwise, we are just going there to participate.
Thanks very much, Mr. Abia. Now we're going to a segment where it will be interesting. Mr. Abia, I'm sure you remember last week, we were here this same time. Lawrence told us that he had bad news for us. He was a messenger of the bad news. Do you think he needs to apologize to us?
You need to apologize indeed because Lawrence, I think you are hearing this. You have to apologize, my friend. I was really a good inspiration on good news. Lawrence put up bad news, but thank God to heart, we had a second striker, which was Sergi Oria, the captain of Ivory Coast, the first captain to do that in a World Cup qualifier for Ivory Coast, the first captain to do that. So I think it was really massive.
I think Ruben,
to talk about it again, just hold your fire, Lawrence. You need to apologize. Just to talk a few, Ruben. The first goal was on goal. The second goal, yes, we get advantage of confusion in the midfield of Ivory Coast. And then the third goal was our own creative chance. So for that game, for that goal, we need to thank Ivory Coast. And we need to give ourselves an exercise to do or a task to do. why were we failing to create so many chances and convert them into goals? Yes, I understand that our opponent were tough, but creating chances is the only way that can give you a winning goals. Because Ivory Coast were playing away from home. They have that, mind to say we are away. This is why those confusion were there. But mind you, if they were at home, that confusion that were there in their backline, we could have seen them. So we need to work extra hard up front to create chances and convert them into goals. Thankful that we won 3 goals by 3 goals to nil. We kept a clean sheet. Yes, that was a good massive because of our pillar Stofira Sunzu. Did a lot of work with the combination of these 2 players. It was good it was that one. The other defender on the right, apart from Frank Musonda. Remind me that name.
Tandi Mwape.
Come again? Yes, Tandi Mwape. The combination of Tandi Mwape and the Stofira Sunzu, it was really awesome. We're just lacking creative chances in up front. So, thumbs up to Zambia that we have qualified. It is a good news, but we have really a lot of work to do. Lawrence, apologize to us and the viewers at large.
Over to you, Lawrence. Punches have been thrown at
you. I don't think I need to apologize. First and foremost, we need to thank Ivory Coast for the kind gesture.
That is the compass, Lawrence.
For the kind gesture that they showed us. Because if I look at the 3 goals, honestly speaking, I think all the 3 goals had a bit of some naivety from Ivory Coast as a team. The first goal, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. It was so bizarre that I was left shocked. I didn't know whether to celebrate or I was just shocked because
you are shocked with a goalkeeper.
Both of them. First and foremost, Serge Aurier, I've never seen such a back pass before. And then to even make it look like it was a deliberate thing, the goalkeeper, I don't know, what was he trying to do there?
He was trying to clear the ball, but he failed because he was in a panic mode with a striker there.
There was no one with the goalkeeper there. And oh my goodness. You look at the second goal, I think, it was Ivory Coast starting from the back, building up from the back, and it went all wrong before they even reached the halfway line. And it was just one pass from the Zambian side, and it was in the net. The third goal was also, anyway, I think there was some bit of brilliance from the Zambian side and in the third goal, but honestly speaking, I didn't see Ivory Coast even falling by 3-0. I think it was too much a big of a ask, but kudos to Avram Grant. I think when I saw the lineups, I was trying to look at to figure out the tactics there, because I saw 3 center backs. Remember, I saw 3 center backs, and I was wondering, are we trying to go for a draw here? Because I started making calculations to say, is it a 5-2-3 kind of an arrangement, or we'll have a 5-3-2, or I was lost there. I can't lie, but when the game started, I think I started panning out what exactly Avram Grant was trying to do. It was a situation where he was trying to keep it tight at the back, and then the 2 fullbacks were most of the times actually playing up front or in the midfield, making it look like it was a 3-5-2 kind of arrangement. Though again, Patson Daka was more alone up front most of the time, and I was in a situation where I'm trying to figure out the formation that we are playing here. But trust me, the formation ended up being an attacking kind of an arrangement, and it was good to see Zambia trying to attack and press the Ivorians right from the time. I think I mentioned last week that Ivory Coast likes to build up from the back, and we tried by all means to press them right from the get go. The moment they start to play the game, we try to press them, and I think that is where we see the second goal coming from. We were paid by the second goal in that kind of an arrangement. We pressed them right from the back, forced them into errors before they could even reach the middle of the park. And also, Ivory Coast, I think, a little bit underrated Zambia, and they thought it was going to be a walk in the park. And surprise to them. I think they didn't even manage to create those kinds of clear-cut chances that you'd expect them. And even when they did, I think. I should not even forget to mention Lawrence in goal. When we saw Tosta Savata not even on the bench, all of us I think were surprised and shocked. Could Toaster have done something that angered the coach that forced him to make an abrupt kind of a change? Up to now, I've not heard of any explanation as to why Toaster was not even on the bench, was not even listed on the bench. But Lawrence came in and gave us what a performance he gave. The distribution was marvelous, positioning excellent. He was everywhere, and we saw something that actually Toaster doesn't give us in goal, and automatically I think Lawrence goes to first choice goalkeeper, and Toaster Swata is relegated to second choice. I think this is what I see going in the future, because we had the stability that we've never had with Toaster Swata in goal, and he just brought it all in one game that he played. I think kudos to Lawrence, I think.
All right. Lawrence, you owe a lot of people. Chibonda is saying you need to apologize because I didn't even touch my Z medicine. Remember, you had the kit last week. He said he has Panadol, Diclofenac, and all that. And he's saying you still owe me my BP medicine, just in case for the future use.
If you want me to apologize and you had so much confidence in the team, why did you need the Z Tamba's medical kit? It means that actually you also need to apologize to Zambia for having that kit. So CJ, please, we need to join hands in the apology together, you and me. I think that is how it will work.
All right, guys, we need to end it here. Thank you very much for coming through, Lawrence. Thank you very much, Mr. ABIA, and also LAMECK, who dropped out during the show due to connectivity. But we'll come again next week, same time. We'll bring to you Ubuntu Sports. We are here doing the build-up.
Ruben, let me clarify to the viewers. Pachilata, no ball at all.
We'll surely have that news.
I think I have advice for Nkana. Let Nkana play their games in Lubumbashi, Congo, so that everybody should feel their pinch. Piece of advice, consider that one.
Are you going to pay for the travelers of other teams? It's a lot of money to travel from here to Lubumbashi.
Yeah, indeed, and it's going to be expensive. Lawrence, Chibonta has apologized, so it's only you who's remaining now to apologize. He has accepted, he has apologized for that.
I think for me it was a prediction. A prediction can be true, can come out right or not, and you cannot hang me because I predicted wrong. It was a prediction.
No. I think you came as a
good night to the village.
You came as a message, but we leave it here anyway. That's what Ubuntu Sports offers to you. People who bring all sorts of analysis here, and you can't miss, because we'll be doing the analysis for the COSAFA that will be starting first week of July, because July is a football month, and we'll be doing the build up to the Women's World Cup. For now, we say goodbye. See you next week.